L- Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children should not be listening, but you're welcome to if you're above the age of 9. This is Resolution Regret, and if you are below the age of 9, this is a good way for you to learn that there's more out there than John Cena and Roman Reigns. I am your host, the ruler of all hosts, Donovan Cartwright, joined alongside by the historian Tori. How you doing?
Hello. How's everybody doing today? How are you doing? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to have you on the show. Tonight it is going to be me and the historian. We're going to be flying a little solo because the Golden Champion wanted to watch the non-champion Dallas Cowboys lose another football game.
No comment on the Cowboys. But I digress.
I got a comment, but unfortunately, if we have any Cowboys fans out there, they won't like it.
They're going against the New Orleans Saints, a championship caliber team. So
the last time we saw Louisiana football team versus a Texas football team, it was the LSU versus Texas A&M. Then they went into 7 overtimes with 70-something points apiece. Great game. It's a lot better than what you're going to see here.
yeah, that's true.
All right, Tori, I know this might sound a little unprofessional to some, but I have a question. Do you want to start with Nitro or Raw first?
Let's go with Nitro first.
All right. Let's see, you have more matches. All right, so this is where we're going to start. Now, you tell me what you think of this. We had the Renegade versus Paul Orndorff in a tag match, or in a dark match.
I remember Renegade. He was basically, and I'm just going to get this out the way, he reminded me of a bootleg Ultimate Warrior.
He was an Ultimate Warrior impersonator, is really what that was.
Yes, he was like a bootleg version of Ultimate Warrior. And he was going against a man known as Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful himself, Paul Orndorff, who happened to be a former football player in his own right from Florida. Tampa, Florida, ladies and gentlemen. And a WWE Hall of Fame. And, of course, knowing Paul Orndorff with his history, he probably won the match by any means necessary, because that's how he rolled.
He did indeed win the match.
There you go.
Now, here's another match that I think should have been on the main card. We've been discussing this, and this is where WCW is starting to really annoy us. We had a dark match. Diamond Dallas Page, the television champion, versus Alex Wright for the WCW World Television Championship.
DDP. I like that. See, one thing I like about Diamond Dallas Page during that time, he was actually started getting into the groove of being a professional wrestler. Before he was a wrestler and a yoga instructor, he was a manager. He was a wrestling manager. He used to manage the likes of Pat Tanaka, Paul Diamond, what do you call himself? Bad Company. That's right, Bad Company.
He was also a movie star. He was also a movie star before he was a wrestler.
That's true. He was also a movie star. He also managed Scott Hall when he was the Diamond Stud, Kevin Nash when he was Benny Vegas, a.k.a., and also Oz. And
I remember Oz.
But he going up against, yes, I remember Oz too. That was one of the worst characters Kevin Nash ever made, to be honest. But
I don't think he made it. I think they wrote it for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was terrible. That's about as good as Superstar Steve Austin.
Yes, in ECW. We will get to that, in a few weeks. But anyway, then we talk about a second generation underrated wrestler known as Alex Wright, whose father was a great wrestler in Germany, who also wrestled in Japan. used to wrestle in the old Jim Crockett promotion.
Which is your favorite promotion, obviously.
That's right. That's right. So Alex Wright, being a young guy that he was, he was a pretty good match. And you know what? It should have been on the main card, but knowing DDP, he probably won the match. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think DDP won the match.
And you are absolutely right. DDP stole the match. Then we had another dark match. We had another dark match that should have been on the main card. Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko.
Man, you want to talk about... Now, I want people to think about this. These two guys, Guerrero and Malenko, before they were in WCW, they used to wrestle each other for the ECW World Television Champion. Before they both got called up, before Eric Bischoff kind of got them from ECW to WCW. And believe me, those two had a great match. I don't know who won the match between those two, but if I'm a betting man, I think it's Guerrero that won the match against Malenko.
Guerrero is consistently putting W's over Dean Malenko in '95. He puts a W over here.
I mean, like I said, the rivalry between Guerrero and Malenko goes right back to their days in ECW, and also to their days in Japan as well.
And these matches they're having are not their best. They're kind of slower, and this is like they're just building a feud here, a weekly feud where Dean Malenko can't seem to score a win over Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah. I mean, basically, WCW kind of squandered those two during their early stage because in ECW, if you remember, Donovan, in ECW, those two had a great match. Yeah. One of the best matches in ECW at the time. So what's the next match?
We had another dark match, the Taskmaster versus the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Oh, man, rest in peace to the Macho Man. A man that pretty much said he wanted to, if you wanted to put Mount Rushmore in wrestling, he should be one of them because you're talking about Macho Man Randy Savage. Hey, James, how you doing, man? Macho Man Randy Savage is one of my favorite wrestlers growing up as a kid. I remember the great matches he had with
the Dragon,
Tito Santana, Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, Hulk Hogan, obviously. He also had great matches in WWE with guys like the Repo Man, Razor Ramon, Ric Flair.
Before he had his this is before his Macho Madness resurgence.
Yeah, before the Macho Madness resurgence. And then when he went to WCW, this match he had with Kevin Sullivan should have been on the main card because we talking about two legends. I mean,
not much, James. How about you?
He's a future Hall of Famer. I remember saying that a few times before about Kevin Sullivan. You know my history. You know the history of Kevin Sullivan. This guy, you want to talk about a man who was a worker back in his day?
And
Kevin Sullivan was a worker.
He was a murderer, supposedly?
Supposedly, but we don't know if that's true or not.
Booker T and Kevin Sullivan murdered the Benoit family. Just ask all the conspiracy theorists.
Yes.
It wasn't just Kevin Sullivan, it was Booker T, too.
I know. I heard about that conspiracy theory, but like I said, we don't know if it's true or not. And knowing the Macho Man, he probably won a match against Kevin Sullivan because Kevin Sullivan always, as great as Kevin Sullivan is, he always find a way to lose a match too.
Actually, he won this match.
Oh wow, I was wrong for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, like I said, Kevin Sullivan's a great man. is a great wrestler, and he should. And if WWE don't put this man in the Hall of Fame, then there's something wrong with the WWE.
I don't even.
All right, what's the next match? I can't believe I lost one, but hey, it is what it is.
Then we saw. This is the main card. The WCW United States Champion Sting taking on Shark.
Earthquake, right?
Yeah.
John Tenta. Now,
For the title.
I mentioned for the United States title that Sting probably won.
Sting is a champion.
Because, you know, and I'm gonna tell you y'all something about Big Bad John Tenta. Earthquake, Shark, whatever you want to call him. He was one of the greatest big men, one of the most underrated, but yet one of the greatest big men in the history of wrestling, bar none. And then you talking about the Stinger. He was once the member of the Blade Runners with the Ultimate Warrior. Then he started teaming up with Eddie Gilbert, my bad, not Eddie Graham, but Eddie Gilbert. He had, which also included Rich Steiner. They were part of the Gilbert family, or whatever he called it, the Hot Stuff family, international family, whatever. Eddie Gilbert used to call that family back in the day. And then Sting came on his own in the old Jim Crockett NWA promotion before Ted Turner bought it and pushing it to WCW.
And I'm gonna let you guess who won this match. You can continue. I just wanted to say this match lasted 1 minute and 17 seconds.
I think Sting won against the Shark, aka Earthquake, right?
Yep, he retained the title. The thing
about Sting is, and the thing about Sting is, I quote it every week. I do his quote, "Ta-ta," for now. But go ahead with the next match.
The next match was Sabu versus Mr. JL. 4 minutes and 28 seconds.
In case anybody want to know who Mr. JL is, it's Jerry Lynn in the mask. That's Jerry Lynn's WCW name, Mr. JL,
and I love it. This match right here was solid. It was action. It was ECW brought to the WCW. It was great.
It was a great match between those two. I mean, what can you say about? Well, I'm gonna put my feelings aside about Sabu. Sabu is one of the greatest hardcore wrestlers, period.
This was before Sabu was a douchebag, so let's give him some credit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're talking about a man, Sabu, who basically put ECW on the map before tag. We're talking about a man, Sabu, who is a former ECW, multiple-time ECW champion.
We're talking about two men in this match that put ECW on the map before Rob Van Dam, Taz, Rhino.
Exactly. I mean, we're talking about the two cornerstones of ECW.
Do you know what the fans used to literally tell you if New Jack came out?
Wow.
You remember what the fans used to tell you, people that that were at ECW events and New Jack came out? You know what they'd tell you?
What?
Hide your wallet.
Oh yeah, hide your wallet. Yeah, because he was he used to go to jail a lot back in the day.
New Jack was a cool dude. He really was.
Yeah, but that stuff he said about Jerry the King Lawler's son was way out of line. So
he's just trying to keep himself in somebody's mouth. That's all that is. You know, controversy in wrestling is sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes it makes little quips back and forth. They do that to try to, get themselves out there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Just like Eric Bischoff always said, controversy sells cash. Creates cash, I mean. Eric Bischoff always said that controversy creates cash, and it does.
And having every match on a pole, quoting Vince Russo, is money.
Exactly. But anyway, with these two guys, I think it was I think either Sabu won or Jerry Lynn won. And if I'm a betting man, I think Sabu probably won this match.
Yep, he won this match. He had a good WCW run back then. Next, we had Big Bubba Rogers, the Big Boss Man, for anybody that doesn't know, versus Road Warrior Hawk. This match was 1 minute and 38.9 seconds.
Man, let me, first of all, rest in peace to both of these guys. Rest in peace to both Ray Traylor and Hulk. Ray Traylor is Big Boss Man, Big Bubba Rogers. He was also known as the Boss, Angel, Guardian Angel, whatever you want to call him. He had so many nicknames back in the day. And what can you say about one half of the legendary Road Warrior? I mean, and that match didn't last long, but when it comes to singles match, I say Ray Traylor had the edge. I think Ray Traylor won against
He won via countout.
I mean, you talking about two legendary Hall of Famer wrestlers, Hulk being one half of the Road Warrior, and, well, Big Bubba Rogers. Enough said.
Then we got to the main event, a steel cage. It was the longest match of the night, 4 minutes and 44 seconds. The Nature Boy, woo, Ric Flair versus the Enforcer, Arn Anderson.
Man, two guys of steel cage match between two of the four horsemen.
And according to Mitt, they are best friends.
In real life, yes, they are.
Yes.
They are real. I mean, we're talking about Ric Flair and Double A, R. Anderson, the Enforcer, versus the Nature Boy.
Woo.
Two founding members of the Four Horsemen inside of a steel cage. Two guys that been in steel cage matches before. And no
two guys that innovated the match that Undisputed Era is currently, that Undisputed Era just recently lost, the War Games match.
Exactly. Those two guys set the bar in War Games, along with, well, the man that created the War Games.
And after this, I want to ask you a question. I want your opinion. I'm not going to ask it yet.
Okay.
Let's save it. It's going to be the end of Nitro, so I want you to give me your take.
I mean, this match between these two horsemen and knowing Ric Flair, knowing R. Anderson, I think Ric Flair won.
Absolutely not. Arn Anderson, again, takes a win over Ric Flair.
Wow. Now, that is shocking. Because normally when you talk about R. Anderson and Ric Flair, my first thought was, hell, R. Anderson was going to let Ric Flair win the match, but wow, I did not see that coming.
Oh my God.
I did not see that coming. Double A, the Enforcer, won the match.
I'm looking at the next show. Oh man, that is a stacked card. I'm not even going to mention it. I'm just going to let you. But I will tell you this. On the next show, there is absolutely no dark matches.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
And now, the question I was going to ask you. I have a fantasy match. I was asked this on Strong Sheet. Now that you're here, I have an honest opinion. Tell me who you think would win a War Games match between the Four Horsemen in their prime. We're talking late 80s Four Horsemen versus the Undisputed Era.
Wow. Adam Cole is like the modern day Ric Flair. O'Reilly, basically the Enforcer. Bobby Fish, he kind of reminds me of Tully Blanchard. And as far as And as far as Roger Strong goes, he's more of an Ole Anderson type of guy. No offense to Barry Windham, but Roger Strong kind of got that Ole Anderson type of attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, if it was up to me, as much as I love the Four Horsemen, always been a big fan of the Four Horsemen. I'm gonna have to give the edge to the Undisputed Era.
That is totally fair.
That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Who do you give the edge to?
I can't even argue. The Undisputed Era are just much better in-ring performers.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Four Horsemen are great. I mean, they pretty much started the war game, along with, you know, guys like Dusty Rhodes and Sting and Luger and people like that, the Road Warriors, all them teams. You know, they've been in the war game. Booker T later on in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Honestly, though, we're going to go to Raw. There's only 2 matches for Raw.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
2 matches?
For an hour-long show, they had 2 matches.
I guess back then they did a lot of talking. And
they're coming at you from the Civics Auditorium, Welsh Auditorium in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay, let's get to the matches.
We had Diesel, the World Wrestling Federation champion Diesel, the Intercontinental champion Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker taking on Owen Hart, Yokozuna, and the British Bulldog.
Oof.
Woo! You talk about
Shawn Michaels.
Stacked. Diesel, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Owen Hart, Yokozuna, and the British Bulldog.
That's a stacked card. I mean, that's a stacked card. We're talking about Undertaker.
And this match went on a while.
It was a long-ass match. I will say that because, man, I mean, you got 2 7-footers with Shawn Michaels. Think about it. You got a couple of nearly 7-foot guys with the Undertaker and Diesel, aka Kevin Nash. For those of you who wonder who Diesel is, I'm not talking about the Kane version of him. If you know what I mean. We're talking about Kevin Nash's version of Diesel. And then you get the Heartbreak Kid before he went bald. And also we got The Undertaker before he went old versus we're talking about Owen Hart, the Bulldog, and Yokozuna. That's right?
Yeah.
Owen Hart and the British Bulldog. And Yokozuna. Rest in peace to all 3. Yokozuna, Hall of Famer. Yokozuna, part of the same family with, well, you know, the Uso, Roman Reigns, what have you. Then you got the brother-in-law, the British Bulldog, and Owen Hart, who both will be in the Hall of Fame someday. And I remember with this match, I think Undertaker was having problems with, I forgot who Undertaker was feuding with at the time. But I remember this match. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, I think the match went to Yokozuna and company. Because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Jim Cornette the manager of that team at the time?
I think so.
So like I say, I think if I'm wrong on this one, I think Owen Hart, Yokozuna, and Bulldog probably won that match. What do you think? It's been so damn long ago.
Owen Hart, Yokozuna, and Bulldog did win this match. They've been getting the one-up on the WWF Intercontinental and World Champion. And The Undertaker.
I knew it. Of course.
And Undertaker's already just phenomenal. Phenomenal, get it?
Yep. Before there was the phenomenal AJ Styles, there was the phenomenal Undertaker.
Rest in peace.
Uh,
This is
that was
this was before he was digging holes and taking souls. I really don't like that catchphrase. I really never liked that one.
And that was before he claimed that WWE as his yard.
Yeah, before there was a big
Before
dog.
Roman Reigns.
Before he was the biggest dog. Don't fucking even ask. Please, just don't. I don't even want to be reminded of that. Just go away, Cole. Just go away.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
On commentary, we had Vincent Kennedy McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler. All right, you ready?
When Vince McMahon was new. That was at the time when Vince McMahon was younger and he knew exactly what he was doing back then. I will give him that.
You ready for the main event?
Yes.
How do you follow this matchup of all? And you had such a long match. How do you possibly follow this up? With Fatu versus Skip for your main event, aka Fatu, aka Rikishi, and Skip, aka No Gimmicks Needed. Hang on, I gotta find that again. No Gimmicks Needed.
The Suicide Blonde.
The Hard Knocks, Chris Candido with Sonny.
Fatu, Rikishi, who happened to be the cousin of the guy in the previous match, Yokozuna. If I'm not mistaken, yes, they are family members. They are cousins. They used to train together. I think the entire family back then used to train together. But anyway, knowing Candido and Sonny, they had to find some way to beat Fatu. Am I wrong on that one?
You were not wrong.
I mean, you talking about Tammy Sink, a.k.a. Sonny. And you got Chris Candido, who should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, Chris Candido was a great, great wrestler. Well, back in the day, he used to wrestle in Smoky Mountain at the Suicide Blonde. Wrestle in WWE as Skip. Did I say that right?
Yep.
And in ECW as No Gimmicks Needed, part of the Triple Threat. And,
You want to go down his title history real quick?
And he also was in WCW at the time. But go ahead, yes.
He is the former ECW Tag Team Champion 3 times with Sir Jonathan Hotbody and Sir Richard Michaels. One
true.
time. Freebirds Rule and Lance Storm 1 time.
That's true.
He is also a former Independent Superstars of Professional Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. He was a former NWA Midwest Heavyweight Champion and World Champion both once. Former Pennsylvania Championship Wrestling PCW United States Heavyweight Champion once. Former USA Extreme Wrestling Champion. He was the UXW United States Champion. Was a former WCW Cruiserweight Champion once.
That's true.
Former, and he was a 3-time United States Champion in USA Extreme Wrestling. And he
was also in Smoky Mountain. He also worked.
I'm getting to that. Let me get to that. A former WCW Cruiserweight Champion, a former WWF World Tag Team Champion once with Zip. And I loved this company in the 2000s. A former XPW World Heavyweight Champion. An NWA, or Smoky Mountain Wrestling, NWA World Heavyweight Champion. United States Junior Heavyweight Champion 3 times. Beat the Champ Television Champion 2 times. And Tag Team Champions 2 times with Brian Lee.
Prime time Brian Lee, folks. Who also, prime time Brian Lee not only wrestled in Smoky Mountain, but also ECW.
He was also known as, in quotes, The Undertaker in chains.
Yes. My thing about, you talking about a guy, Chris Candido, who should, if you want to talk about a Hall of Fame caliber superstar, you couldn't go, you talking about Chris Candido, the Suicide Blonde, skill, no gimmicks needed. That guy has so many variations, so many nicknames, it's hard to keep up. But he was a great, great wrestler. And then when you talking about Fatu, aka Rikishi, aka one half of the Samoan SWAT team back in WCW.
With Samu?
Yep. Samu, Fatu. And by the way, my heart goes out to Samu because he's also fighting cancer. So for those who, I guess cancer runs in that family. But you got Roman Reigns and Samu. But and that one went 5-2. That was before he became Rikishi.
Yeah.
He was just
Yeah.
He also was known as something else before he was 5'2". I forgot what that damn name was. He was with the Iron Sheik and Bob Back. I forgot what you call him back then.
I don't remember.
But I remember he had on a weird looking mankind type mask before Mankind has the mask. had like part of his head shaved just to compliment, with the mask. But I gotta admit, man, Rikishi he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame because, yes, multiple time champion in WWE, former champion in the old AWA, I forgot what that was. He was a Mid-South wrestler. I know he was a champion. And no, it was world-class championship wrestling as part of the Samoan SWAT team with Samu. There was a tag team champion there. I remember. The SST. Former tag team champion WCW, I think. And with Paul Heyman. Paul E. Dangerously. That was a great team. Him and Samu.
Yeah,
the
they
head
were.
shrinkers too. There was the head shrinkers on WWE? Yes, they were. Now, I want to see what the fans think about this question. Who was the most underrated wrestler in the history of WCW, in your opinion?
Who is the what?
The most underrated wrestler in the history of WCW during that time, in your opinion?
Arn Anderson.
I was gonna say that too because Arn Anderson the man won just about every single championship with the exception
Of the
WCW
title.
World Heavyweight Champion.
And this man is steady beating Ric Flair week in, week out.
Arn Anderson, he was one of the greatest of all time that never, and I'll repeat this, folks, he was one of the greatest of all time that never won a World Heavyweight title. And this guy is a worker. You want to talk about a real workhorse? Arn Anderson. Here's a guy that won the WCW Tag Team Champion, NWA Tag Team Champion, WWE Tag Team Champion with Tony Blanchard. That's right. Him and Tully Blanchard were the only team that won the WCW or NWA and WWE Tag Team Champion as a team. Before there was the Brainbuster, they were Paul Horseman. Him and Tully Blanchard.
Well, there was also there's only a few teams on that list who's won both. And that's up there with the Dudleys.
Yep.
Because the Dudleys have pretty much won tag team gold everywhere. WCW, WWF, ECW, NWA,
TNA.
Ring of Honor.
New Japan.
No, yeah, New Japan. I think they might have won. No, they never teamed in Ring of Honor.
No, they didn't, but they did team in New Japan though.
Mm-hmm. But
I can tell you every team that won championship everywhere they've been. The Steiners.
No. I'm looking for teams that have won like the WCW and WWF. You got the Brainbusters, obviously, Tully and Arn. You got the Dudley Boys.
That's true.
I'm trying to think. I know there's... Huh?
The Nasty Boys. That's right. The Nasty Boys, also a former WCW and also WWE Tag Team Champion.
Yeah. True. I'm trying to think. There was one more team. There was one more that held both.
Actually, there's two more. The Steiners and the Road Warriors.
I know the Road Warriors. But there's one more.
I just mentioned the Steiners, bro. The Steiner brother also a former WCW Tag Team Champion, as well as WWE Tag Team Champion. They were a two-time WCW. I mean, they were multiple-time WCW Tag Team Champion, but also a two-time WWE Tag Team Champion, Rick and Scott, the Steiner brothers.
Yeah, that was back before they went to WCW. I'm not.
And they also, another team, along with the Dudley, they also won the IWGP Tag Team Champion.
Yep. I'm trying to think of the other team.
That's another.
Hang on. We got disconnected. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The teams that won both WCW and WWE Tag Team Champion are as follows. The Brainbusters, the Nasty Boys, the Dudley Boys, the Steiner Brothers, the Road Warriors, and I'm trying to think of another tag team that actually done it. Oh, yes. That's about it. I can't even think of any other tag team.
I thought there was an NWO team that won them.
You mean Hall and Nash?
No, I know they never teamed together. I'm trying to think. I wanted to say Benoit and Guerrero, but I don't think they ever won the tag titles in WWF together.
No, they didn't. It would have been cool though, but another tag team champion WCW and WWE, Mysterio and Kidman.
That's who it was.
That's it. Mysterio and Kidman.
That's who it was.
Because I remember when Mysterio and Kidman were former WCW Tag Team Champion. In fact, they were former WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Champion. That's something that WWE needs to think about when it comes to 205 Live, having a Cruiserweight Tag Team Championship. That's another title I'm thinking about.
They're not going to do it, dude. They're not.
It was a good idea, though.
It was, and it worked.
WCW had the Cruiserweight Tag Team Champion, the first Cruiserweight Tag Team Champion, before AJ Styles and I forgot Air Paris. Yeah, it was before it was AJ Styles and Paris. It was Mysterio and Kidman. Then they became the World Tag Team Champion before they went to WWE, and they became the Tag Team Champion on SmackDown as well. So technically, Mysterio and Kidman also a former WWE Tag Team Champion. Only they were SmackDown at the time. That's
Exactly.
about it. I can't even think of any other tag team
It was
that actually
Mysterio and
won.
Kidman. I was trying to think because I knew it was Mysterio, but I couldn't remember who he did it with.
Billy Kidman.
Hey, Jamie.
Him and Kidman was a great tag team.
So let's get to the let's get to our final review of Nitro and Raw. Raw only had 2 matches this week, and their one match was a huge match.
Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna have to give the edge to Raw because that one match was pretty long, but it was a great match. I mean, you got pretty much Hall of Famers on both sides.
Yokozuna, Owen Hart, British Bulldog versus Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, and the Undertaker, all in the ring. And Fatu and Skip was not a good main event to follow that.
No, it wasn't. But Nitro,
Two of
you
their
had nothing but dark matches.
two of their dark matches were good, better than the main card.
Exactly. So I'm gonna have to give the edge to Raw because you talking about Guerrero, a Hall of Famer, and another future Hall of Famer in Malenko that should have been on the main card.
They've had like 4 matches so far, and they were in 3 of them were dark matches.
And then you got 2 ECW guys.
Sabu and Jerry Lynn, who did put on the best match of the night.
Yes, they did. I mean, Sabu, he didn't stay long in WCW. He only
It's
stayed
going
there
great,
for
Jamie.
a few months.
How about yourself, man? No, I know.
What's going on, Jamie?
We're about to try to get up out of here, Jamie. Unfortunately, we're running. We're running low. We're getting low on the time. We're gonna try to get up out of here. This isn't supposed.
Sorry about that noise, man.
I don't know what that was either. It's cool though, man. It's not bothering me. My head's just hurting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're about to close this show because I think Donovan is about to close the show. Me and Donovan about to close the show. So is there any? Let's do final thoughts, bro. Cause I can tell you getting tired.
Oh, Jamie's on a break. We're about to do final thoughts, Jamie. He's doing good, by the way, Tori. He's on break at work. Don't work
Okay.
yourself too hard, my man. Don't work yourself too hard.
Yeah, take it easy, bro.
Yeah. Tori, what's your final thoughts?
Personally, my final thought is some of the guys that I mentioned, like Kevin Sullivan, the British Bulldog, Owen Hart, and yes, we know Undertaker's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. That's automatic. But those 3 guys, along with Dean Malenko, should be in the Hall of Fame.
Dean Malenko's probably going to go in. He's working as a backstage talent, a trainer for NXT.
Yeah, which he did. He's doing pretty good with NXT. And I will say this.
He said found a stream. Hang on. He said found a stream for Ring of Honor. It's slow, and I'm not gonna kill myself tonight. That's good, Jamie. And I'm sorry that you're getting a slow Ring of Honor stream.
Yeah, I know how that is, bro. But my final thoughts is we don't need any more dark matches in WCW for the next week's show because we getting sick and tired of these dark matches because some of these dark matches should be on the main card.
Yeah, I mean WWF does 2 fucking matches, and the main event's Skip versus freaking Fatu, Rikishi versus Chris Candido, and WCW got like 8 matches, and 4 of them are dark matches. You know, that's like it's like okay, one has an abundance of matches, which is usually why they're better, but Vince never did get simpler is better. Right. Yeah, we could have had a much better main event to follow up the opening match, the 6-man tag, but simpler is better.
That was Vince's philosophy back then. But now, well, we see how it goes.
He oversaturates everything. If one guy isn't getting an hour of Raw, Baron Corbin, Roman Reigns, or woman, Ronda Rousey, then he's not doing it, man.
Exactly. I mean, don't even get me started on who self-proclaimed GM elect.
Constipated Corbin.
But my final thoughts is some of the guys, and I want you to pay attention to this Triple H and Vince McMahon. Those guys like Kevin Sullivan and a few others I mentioned, Earthquake, a guy that worked in your company, put them in the Hall of Fame. Hell, put Typhoon in the Hall of Fame with Earthquake. Put the entire, Undertaker, we know you're going to the Hall of Fame. That's automatic, oh yes, put British Bulldog, Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame. That's my final thought. What's your final thought?
My final thoughts are simple. Stay golden. I know I am. Got that Twitch belt. I'm not gonna say keep it tight because that's not really relevant here.
I got you.
If you're watching the Dallas Cowboys right now, you're wasting your time. You're a horrible person and should reevaluate your life choices. And because you're following a losing horse. And mostly, I got to give it to WWF. This was a good show. Next week, we're going to go back to the 4 matches. Yeah, broken Matt Hardy would make a great GM, though.
Yeah, I agree. To be honest with you, Matt Hardy would make a much better general manager.
He said, remember Chris Candido versus Terry Funk on Nitro?
That was
where he horse kicked Terry.
Yes.
Remember that time that Goldberg horse kicked Bret Hart? That's the last time Bret Hart was healthy to wrestle.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, Bret Hart, he was what he said he was back in the day. The best there is, the best there was,